Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all the latest in combat sports, from the UFC octagon to the boxing ring and everything in between. Now, let's dive into one of the biggest talking points shaking up the fight game. Eddie Hearn, one of boxing's most vocal and successful promoters, just made headlines with a bold claim during an interview with Ariel Helwani. According to Hearn, the era of MMA dominance, specifically under Dana White's UFC, is fading, and boxing is not just back, it's booming. He didn't hold back. Hearn straight up called MMA a poor relative, compared to the new wave of boxing, supercharged by massive Saudi investment. And in his eyes, the UFC brand might still be strong, but the product itself? Not so much. He said the fights are getting stale, the stars aren't shining like they used to, and the overall spectacle is starting to feel flat. Meanwhile, boxing is turning heads globally again. From 65,000 fans packed into Tottenham Hotspur Stadium to events lighting up New York's Times Square and Saudi Arabia's Riyadh on the same weekend, Hearn believes boxing is giving fans what they crave: larger-than-life personalities, massive showdowns, and moments that feel historic. Thanks to Saudi Arabia's Turki Al-Sheikh and deep pockets, boxing's presentation has gone next level, and Hearn says the UFC can't compete with that kind of firepower. But beyond just money, Hearn argued there's a philosophical difference. In the UFC, the brand always comes first. Fighters may build a name, but they rarely eclipse the promotion. That's why Conor McGregor was such an anomaly. He broke the mold, and the UFC didn't quite know how to handle that. Hearn says it's the opposite in boxing. In his world, the fighter is the brand. The fighter is the event. Promoters like Matchroom and Top Rank push their stars to the front, and now, with Saudi funding, they have the tools to do it at an even grander scale. Here's where things get even more interesting. Dana White is planning to launch his own boxing promotion soon, ironically backed by the same Saudi investors fueling boxing's current hot streak. But Hearn isn't worried. In fact, he threw shade in classic Eddie Hearn fashion, saying, "Those guys won't be able to lace my boots" in boxing promotion. And if you thought that was the end of his rant, think again. Hearn even drew comparisons between the UFC and WWE, and not in a flattering way. He suggested that at least WWE knows how to make stars. According to him, UFC doesn't want to create fighters who might become bigger than the promotion itself. He pointed out how hard it would be for a casual fan to name 6 UFC megastars today. Sure, there are familiar faces, but many of them seem to lose often and just keep circling back. In contrast, Hearn said boxing is like WWE, except it's real, unscripted, raw, and filled with characters who wear their flaws like badges of honor. And those imperfections? That's what sells. So, is Eddie Hearn right? Is boxing truly outshining MMA right now? Or is this just a promoter hyping his own sport? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with Hearn's take? Has boxing really taken the lead again thanks to Saudi Arabia's backing? Or does the UFC still hold the crown? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates and hot takes from the fight world. See you next time.